It's Saturday night in Leesburg, Virginia, and we welcome you to Segra Field for tonight's USL Championship Eastern Conference matchup as Loudoun United welcomes in Tampa Bay Rowdies here on ESPN Plus alongside Anna Whitty, Justin Galanti. So glad you could join us tonight. Anna, this is going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, for Loudoun, let's start on their side of things, a group that's been in a bit of a struggle of late after a great start to the season.
Loudoun United has been dealing with injuries on their back line, which has led to some mental errors. They're coming off a midweek loss. It'll be huge in this game to manage the game and not allow the Tampa Bay Rowdies to take control in possession. Watch this Loudoun United team to have to stay really compact defensively and support their midfield. A player up top for Loudoun United is forward Zach Ryan. He has a great press, which will be really important to slow down this Rowdies build tonight. He's a technically sound player with 8 goals this season. Watch for this team in transition to try and find Ryan over the top with some really effective services.
And Ryan, our player to watch, brought to you by Betfred. How about with Tampa Bay, a team that's been on just a wonderful run of late, unbeaten in its last 8 matches?
Tampa Bay's front four have 13 goals combined this season. They didn't start with a high press to start the season. However, now they're pressing really high on back lines, and that's what's been really effective for them in the attacking third. They have consistent partnerships in the center back role, which allows for that confidence among all 3 lines.
Now, J.J. Williams has been really good for them this year. He is tied for the team lead in goal scoring, but they really get a lot from a lot of different players. For
J.J. Williams, a quick player who likes the ball in behind and to run at back lines. He has 6 goals this season. He's really good in league on play with the 10 and Charlie Dennis. Watch for how Dennis looks to receive the ball, looks to create, and try and find Williams over the top and behind.
Now, our keys to the game tonight are brought to you by Country Buick GMC of Leesburg. Anna, what are you looking out at tonight that's going to be important?
Loudoun United is the youngest team in USL Championship. They cannot make any mental errors against a very experienced Tampa Bay Rowdies team. For the Rowdies, they have to pressure this Loudoun back line, catch them off guard. There's a lot of players who haven't played consistent minutes this season, so they can likely get some balls off of their back line.
Well, that's pretty much going to do it for our Segra pre-game show. Coming up after the break, starting 11s and the start of tonight's match. Loudoun United and Tampa Bay Rowdies right on the other side of this timeout.
Business today is fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. Segra is here to help you get what's next with our best-in-class connectivity, cybersecurity, cloud, and collaboration solutions. Whatever your business dreams, we have the network and services to get you there. Segra, giving your business the freedom to grow today. Segra is a proud sponsor of the Loudoun United Football Club.
Welcome back to Segra Field in Leesburg. About to get started, Loudoun United, Tampa Bay Rowdies meeting for the first time this season. But before we start, let's check out the starting 11s for both sides. Anna, starting with Loudoun United.
Loudoun United has Daniel Chica in their back line, is going to be consistent for them tonight. Jackson Hopkins is going to have to create, and then Zach Ryan in the 9 role next to Thomas Williamson and Jeremy Garay.
And in the center back spot is Jace Clark. He is the last one standing among the center backs for Loudoun United. And then Tampa Bay, a team that's really been excellent all season long.
Tampa Bay Rowdies in a 4-2-3-1 in a double pivot in the 6 with Ekra and Doherty, who have a really good partnership. Lasso and Gillian have played consistent minutes together in the center back role. Their communication will be important. And then up top, JJ Williams, Charlie Dennis, Jake LaCava, and Sebastian Delgard have a great partnership in the attack.
Just about set to start on what is a beautiful Saturday night. And we are underway. So glad you could be with us tonight. Justin Glanty, Anna Whitty, and our entire outstanding crew. Loudoun United coming off, as Anna mentioned in our open, a 2-0 loss on Wednesday night at Birmingham. Tampa Bay last played a week ago in El Paso, and that was a 1-1 tie. It's interesting talking with really both head coaches, Neil Collins for Tampa Bay and Ryan Martin for Loudoun United, about the quick turnaround for Loudoun. And they both brought up Loudoun's youth as a reason that it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Loudoun is the youngest team in the league. They're averaging 23 years old. So having the youth, the ability to go from a Wednesday game to a Saturday game so quickly is a little bit more seamless than other teams in the league. So Tampa Bay has to be ready for them to come out, be quick, and still be fresh 3 days later.
Early free kick here as Coas Santos sends it inside the box. Well handled, though, by Tampa Bay, a side that's only allowed 16 goals all year, which is tied for 6th in all of the USL Championship. At 25 points right now, Tampa Bay sits in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Loudoun United, despite the struggles that we talked about earlier, did build up some points in the early portion of the season in March and April. So they are in 8th right now, which is not the worst spot in the world to be in, but they would certainly like to, be playing a bit better than they are right now. Had won 2 in a row prior to the loss on Wednesday.
Loudoun United has conceded 26 goals so far this season. Defensively, they have to shore things up and stay really compact a bit against Tampa Bay, who has such a great front four, who are going to be looking to possess, pick apart them, and be creative, and making this team have to step in weird spots. Loudoun United's consistency will be important as well amongst all 3 lines. They have to be patient and make sure those mental errors don't happen against a very experienced Tampa Bay side.
Yeah, Ryan Martin mentioned to us that even during the losing streak they had throughout the year, he's felt like the team has played well, and there have been 1 or 2 little mistakes that have just been really costly in a few matches that have, flipped a lot of results, and that's just going to happen when you are the youngest team in the league.
An advantage that Coach Martin brought up was the fact that they're young and they don't know what they don't know. So getting this kind of experience, having the confidence, stepping on the pitch and not knowing exactly who your opponent is, but understanding how you want to win this game, how you want to attack a team, is almost an innocence thing that works in this team's favor. So this Loudoun team has to be consistent, has to communicate, but also has to go out there and press really high, not allow Tampa Bay to possess too much of this game and build out and beyond.
Loudoun looking to move forward here. This is Zach Ryan, who we mentioned earlier. Last played with New York Red Bulls in this league before joining Loudoun back in January. Played collegiately at Stanford. Tied for 3rd in the league in goals this year with 8 of them. He has now started all but 1 of Loudoun's matches this season. It's a roster that turns over a bit more for Loudoun United than other teams in this league. So the fact we're about to mention is maybe a little less important than in other situations, but Tampa Bay have won the last 6 it has played against Loudoun, outscoring them 20-3 in that 6-match win streak. And here they come moving forward once again. Early opportunity, perhaps. Player goes down in the box, but it's deemed a clean challenge.
Loudoun United looking to find Ryan in beyond, quick in transition. The entire Rowdies team was stepped high, trying to support their attack in that attack. Good job by Loudoun United to recognize that and go over the top. Here is defensively Loudoun United staying compact as that ball gets played in. Watch as the Rowdies' left foot gets stuck with the center back of the Loudoun United team. Clark goes in for a tackle, and the left foot of Clark and the left foot of one of the Rowdies' attackers just goes in together. No call, good no call by the referee.
So good to see Connor Antley back up to his feet after that. Tampa Bay not in an unfamiliar position to where they've been the last few years. 4 consecutive playoff appearances. They've made it to the Eastern Conference Final 3 years in a row. Made it to the league final in 2020 and 2021. But the focus for Neil Collins and his group is the journey to get to that point, because you really can't, worry about experiences in September and October when you're still in the latter portion of June. But he has a bunch of guys really that know that they have to put in the work now to make it worth it in the end.
It's a long season. This side is about both sides are about halfway done with the season, so it's about being consistent, continuing to get the results, and focusing week in and week out.
Cross comes in all the way through, and it will be a corner here for Loudoun. And a well-played ball in earns them this opportunity, and perhaps the first test coming for Tampa Bay goalkeeper Connor Sparrow, who is making his 12th start out of the now 17 matches this year for Tampa Bay.
Loudoun United look to find themselves in beyond with great crosses. Watch as this Hopkins gets out wide, not able to connect with anybody inside the box, but Tampa Bay had no other option to just try and clear that one out. Could have just turned their hips and cleared it out on the sidelines, but instead it's a set piece.
Aiden Rocha, former Georgetown Hoya, who was picked 60th in the most recent MLS Super Draft. On the ball again here. Rocha, the 23-year-old, plays it all the way back, and Loudoun will keep possession here. For Loudoun United, Dane Jackaman makes his 7th start of the year in goal, former Ivy Leaguer at Penn. Their usual goalkeeper this year has been Hugo Faru, but it's Jackaman who gets the start here tonight. First of 2 meetings this year between Loudoun and Tampa Bay. They'll play again on September 30th down in Florida, which feels like a long time away, but I guess it's really not that far away. Trying to find Ryan over the top here. A strong first touch, and Williamson went down in the box, but again deemed a clean play.
Antley tracking back defensively to stay with Ryan, cutting off that goal side option. Ryan, if that touch could have got him out a little bit further, he would have had that option to get in past beyond Antley.
J.J. Williams sends one in front, and out to fall on it is Dane Jackaman. So some good up and down action between a couple teams here that you talked about earlier, but more on this end. Both teams really want to press high and mirror each other a little bit in that style of play.
Loudoun United has sat back a little bit more than Tampa Bay Rowdies have, who've really stepped and tried to win the initial ball in the attacking third of Loudoun United. However, Loudoun United, within staying compact, you have to pick and choose your moments to step to a back line. They're being smart, and they're picking and choosing when they also want to try and expose themselves and go out wide and attack this Rowdies outside backs.
We mentioned Tampa Bay being tied for 6th in the league in goals allowed, but they're also 7th in goal scoring. So a very balanced group on both sides of the pitch. Overall this year, Tampa Bay 2-2-2 on the road. Loudoun United 3-4-1 at home. And another look at that last opportunity for Loudoun.
Rocha finding Ryan all by himself trying to go forward. Antley does a good job trying to cut off that option. That's exactly how Loudoun United is going to continue to try and attack, is the wide players for United are going to try and find Zach Ryan and beyond. Ryan has to have an outlet underneath to help him create. It can't be a 1v2 situation in the attack.
Talk about Ryan's 8 goals. Nobody else has more than 3 for Loudoun, so he is #1 on the scout for every opposing team, which is why he needs that support that you're talking about, because everyone knows what Loudoun is trying to do to put the ball in the back of the net. Ryan tied for 3rd in USL Championship in goals this year. Here's a beautiful opportunity, and Tommy Williamson has the breakthrough for Loudoun.
Loudoun United is patient in the attack. Williamson holds his run. Tampa Bay continues to drop off. Loudoun United recognizes that, and they wait until they have to play a ball over the top. Well timed by Loudoun United. Watch as they receive the ball in the middle of the field, and Williamson just waiting for that ball to come in beyond. He's open. The 2 center backs don't close that space, and Williamson has all the time just to redirect this ball. There's a lot of pace coming off of Rocha's ball, and all that Williamson has to do is redirect that with his run. He's facing goal inside netting, so he doesn't have to change his position. Well-timed run and a great finish for Loudoun United.
Tommy Williamson with his 3rd goal of the season. The former Cal Bear breaks through for Loudoun United in the first 10 minutes of this match, and you'd imagine, Anna, couldn't be a better start for the home side against a really good opponent tonight. Off a short turnaround from a match on Wednesday, getting that first goal has to be so important.
Loudoun United has more confidence now after they have the first goal against a team who's only conceded now 17 goals this season. It gives them that confidence knowing that they can continue to take those risks going forward. They still have to be conservative defensively, but the Rowdies defense has pockets that they can pick apart, and those seams in between the outside backs and the center backs are really big.
Williamson spent last year in the Minnesota United organization. One of, as we said, a number of new players to this Loudoun United group. Here they come on attack once again. It's been an encouraging start for Ryan Martin's group. Coas Santos here. Santos once again, the former San Diego State Aztec, plays it inside the 18. It's Williamson again trying to find Jackson Hopkins, who was a bit strong on the first touch. But another wonderful build-up from the home side that has really dominated the first 12 minutes tonight.
Loudoun United's midfield is getting forward. Williamson receives this ball inside the box. Watch as Williamson knows that he doesn't have a good opportunity on frame to shoot this one, so Hopkins is the one making the run inside. Good defense by the Rowdies just to get a touch on that ball. However, Rowdies have to be aware that this Loudoun United midfield is going to look to get into the attack alongside their 3 forwards as well.
By the way, the assist on that goal, as you mentioned, to Aiden Rocha, his first professional assist. Again, played 4 seasons at Georgetown before joining Loudoun United.
Rocha has started to be the facilitator in the middle of the field. As soon as Rocha receives the ball, he's the one looking to switch the point of attack. So the Rowdies have to be aware as soon as Rocha gets the ball that he is looking for an option in beyond. There has to be someone defensively stopping those opportunities from Rocha.
So now down a goal, Tampa Bay on the road here. A group that's been, much better at home, but they've played at home a lot more than they've played on the road. 9 matches at home against only 6 on the road coming into tonight. This being the 7th away from home. Have, though, earned at least a result, if not a win, in every road match over the last few. They have not been beaten since April 23rd at San Diego. It was a 1-4-2 start to the year for Tampa Bay. And since then, Rowdies are 6-0-2, unbeaten in their last 8. And Neil Collins said a big reason for the early season struggles were, frankly, some injuries in the preseason that more or less messed with what they wanted to do. Most notably, Leo Fernandez, last year's league MVP, was hurt in training camp and out for the season.
Tampa Bay also lost a handful of really strong midfielders. So centrally, they didn't come into the season as strong as they wanted to be. It took some adjusting and noticing that they couldn't just sit back defensively when a team had the ball. The high press is where they started to get their options closer to goal. So Tampa Bay Rowdies haven't really facilitated with the high press. They've sat back and allowed Loudoun United to build up. That's an adjustment that they can make early on. They have the fresh legs. They haven't played since last weekend, so getting high up the field, putting that pressure on, and allowing players like J.J. Williams, Charlie Dennis to receive the ball closer to frame.
Nearly 15 minutes gone by here at Segra Field. Alongside Anna Whitty, Justin Galanti, our entire crew, happy you're with us tonight. Loudoun up 1-0 on Tommy Williamson's 10th minute goal, assisted by Aiden Rocha. This Tampa Bay group got a really dangerous piece back in Jake LaCava, who's on the ball here. Got him back a couple weeks ago. Spent last season with Tampa on loan from Inter Miami. He was recalled and then drafted by St. Louis in 2022, traded to Miami, played with Tampa Bay on loan, and then rejoined Tampa Bay on loan again just a couple weeks ago. But Neil Collins really spoke glowingly about what he provides this group.
LaCava has really good pace in the outside back position and allows this defense to get forward, and he provides another number up for this Tampa Bay side. Coach Collins talked about how him getting forward, him choosing to be a part of this Tampa Bay Rowdies team again, has allowed so much pressure off of other players, which gives him the freedom to kind of do what he wants in that outside back position, and he brings continuous pace for this Rowdy side, which is definitely needed.
Kava nearly was able to get to that ball in a dangerous area, but it will be a corner coming for Tampa Bay. It's first of the night. Also important to have LaCava back at this juncture of the year when Ryan Spalding, an important piece for Tampa, was just recalled by New England Revolution, and they're not sure if or when they'll get him back. This is Jordan Doherty, 22-year-old, last played in Ireland before joining Tampa. The second consecutive corner coming for Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay has to capitalize on these moments inside the box, try and disrupt this Loudoun United defense, get them caught off guard. Those types of set pieces are so dangerous, and there's such high percentage to convert on these. They haven't found themselves in the attack much either.
This time it'll be Charlie Dennis, 27-year-old. Good ball here from Dennis. Tampa Bay was asking for a hand, but was not rewarded with a call. Not definitively cleared to this point, and Tampa Bay able to win the ball back. Forrest Lasso, that pass a bit behind him, and finally Loudoun United able to clear. You know, when you look at a match like this where it's older team against younger team, physicality is always something to keep an eye on, and even more so set pieces. You would feel like the older team has an advantage in that category.
The physicality part is the biggest piece when it comes to the strength on these set pieces.
Looks like Sebastian Dahlgaard being checked on here.
Loudoun United has to continue to play the style that they're playing. Be aggressive, be on the front foot, use the youthful energy that they've been able to be successful off of so far this season. Tampa Bay Rowdies haven't been able to go man for man in certain 1v1 duos. Loudoun United has to continue to try and find those overloads and get those chances that they've been creating.
Dalgard has been with Tampa Bay for the better part of 3 years now. 31 years old, making his 16th appearance, 8th start of the season here tonight.
They might be a little far from me, they're down here.
Dalgard might not be a goal scorer for this Tampa Bay Rowdies attack, but he's a great assister and a great facilitator down this right-hand side. 3 assists this season. He's a good connection for Charlie Dennis to receive the ball and then be able to create for players like LaCava or Williams. The experience as well at the age of 31 that he brings into the midfield brings a calming presence. So not a player that you want down for the Rowdies right now.
Bit of a warm night in Leesburg, 82 degrees at the moment, so some of the players taking the opportunity for some hydration. Look there at Freddie Kleeman getting stretched out in case he is needed as we get towards the 20-minute mark here in the first half.
You mentioned Ryan Spalding leaving for New England after last game. Jake Arman has subbed into that spot and has brought some consistency in that wide area. Rowdies are going to have to continue to work with what they have, the depth that they have, which is very talented, and having some inconsistency within the lineup, continuing to grow those partnerships as the season goes on.
So Dalgard will have to come off, and he will be replaced by Freddie Kleeman. That substitution brought to you by Segra. Kleeman, the 24-year-old, had started in 12 of his 13 appearances this year, but used as a reserve tonight. Joined Tampa Bay this season from Birmingham Legion. Played collegiately in the Pacific Northwest at the University of Washington. Loudoun United up a goal. Santos playing this one forward for Williamson, who has the goal. Physical play there and a foul against Williamson. Now the sub about to officially take place. You know, one of the things that will be interesting to watch, this has been, of course, a very good start for Loudoun United, but by their own admission, they've been a little bit inconsistent this year and had some trouble at times putting together full 90-minute performances. So a veteran team that's played together for a long time like Tampa Bay, you wonder if part of that game plan early is, all right, we'll see how Loudoun United wants to play, but also make them prove to us that they can play a consistent 90-minute match.
Loudoun United's game plan going into this game was having to play consistently. Has to be the big word for this team, and making sure their structure is built well throughout the majority of this game. Tampa Bay has the ability to turn things on in a blink of an eye, so if there's a mental error or a mental lapse, Loudoun United is going to suffer. So this Loudoun United team has to find ways to just continue to possess, try and find one another's feet, and don't allow players like JJ Williams to get on the ball and do what they do best, which is go 1v1.
Coach Collins talked so much with us this week about the duo of Williams and Dennis that have been so good for Tampa Bay this year, but almost 23 minutes into this match, we've not really said either of their names much.
One of the biggest reasons that Charlie Dennis and JJ Williams haven't been able to connect is because Dennis hasn't been able to receive the ball at his feet. Dennis is a 10 for this Rowdy side. He wants to be the creative player who has the option to take the shot himself or to play it off to a player like Williams. Rowdies have to find ways to get Dennis on the ball. He's going to have to drop back into the midfield at times to create those options.
Neil Collins had a great one off a question you asked him about those two. He said it's not quite a bromance, but they really love playing with each other. I didn't think bromance was coming out of his mouth, but that was a good one.
Bring it up.
It was fun to get a little bit more of a glimpse into the relationship between Dennis and Williams and why that partnership works well. Also asked about, do they hang out together off the field? Sometimes their friendship off the field blossoms into really good partnerships. he said just this collective Rowdies team as a whole has been really good as just being good friends this season. They all get along very well, and that's certainly paying off on the pitch, being in 4th place in the Eastern standings right now.
Yeah, and it's not only this year, right? I mean, a lot of these guys have been together for a while. And how many times when we talked with Neil Collins did he bring up the fact that they're very lucky to have a group that's played a lot of soccer together. A race for this one, but Kleeman can't quite get to it. Player goes down to the far side, though, and this could bring an opportunity for Tampa Bay. Looks like somebody lost a boot. And that might have been what caused the slip.
Fans, make sure to stop by to see Charles Eston on the concourse.
Husu does a good job to track back defensively to help out his teammate who fell in that situation, not allowing that error to create an opportunity for the Rowdies out wide. Loudoun United doing a good job of when one player has a misstep, they're coming together to recorrect that and make sure that Rowdies don't get an option off of that mistake. Watch out defensively, Loudoun United comes in to try and receive this ball, and just because that misstep on the turf, Husu does a good job to read that, track back, and slow down the Rowdies' attack.
It's Abdul Zane, who was the one who lost his footwear. But luckily, he's back up and looks all right. Over 25 minutes gone by here. A 1-0 advantage for Loudoun United on its home pitch. Tommy Williamson with the marker tonight, coming back in the 10th minute. Tampa Bay starting to establish a bit more possession here. This comes back for Doherty. Williams with an opportunity. A lot of contact there. Official deems it a clean challenge, though.
Rowdies with a really good build-up. It started from Armin, who found that ball into the middle of the field, able to switch the point of attack. Loudoun United is playing in a double pivot defensively, so those numbers tracking back to slow down the options that the Rowdies put at the top of the 18. Watch as Ekra takes a shot, and there was a collision there between the two players. Looks like Landry getting some attention.
Looked like on Ekra's follow-through, might have clipped the leg, but Husu Landry back up to his feet.
Come on, Loudoun!
Some really good balls that Rowdies were able to break through the middle of the field, to break Loudoun's midfield. It created an opportunity for them to get across inside. Loudoun were able to deal with that. However, in the middle of the field, those few really good passes to switch the point of attack have to be broken up by Loudoun.
Well, the thumbs up is always a good sign, and we got it a couple times, so it looks like Husu Landry will be able to continue. Only 4 times this year have Tampa Bay been defeated. All came in April or earlier. 2 of those 4 defeats came at the hands of Charleston. So only 3 teams have been able to beat Tampa Bay so far this year. A team that, make no mistake, has its eyes on getting back to the Eastern Conference Final for a 4th straight year and even further than that. Jake Armin able to find LaCava. Again, Loudoun able to clear it, not quite definitively though. There have not been any big chances for Tampa Bay, but you can start to feel the match shifting a little bit.
Tampa Bay is able to switch the point of attack multiple times by just a great ball over the top. Loudoun United's getting there to slow down the initial pass. However, Rowdies are bringing in multiple players to create overloads, looking to kind of plug and play out of those situations. Loudoun United has to be careful within those build-outs that the Rowdies don't have extra numbers to get past them.
Third corner of the night for Tampa Bay.
I'll give the information.
Dennis toward the back post, but all the way through. And that opportunity goes by the wayside for the visitors from the Sunshine State. Meanwhile, the 5 wins this year for Loudoun: Memphis, Oakland, Tulsa, Miami, and would you guess Charleston? It was Charleston back, or Birmingham, I should say. The team that beat Tampa Bay.
Rowdies have a really good side, and you mentioned the fact that they're looking to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. They have the basis to be able to do that, but it's about a 34-match season, being consistent game in, game out, going on the road, and being able to get results. The Rowdies only 4 losses this season and conceding only 17 goals. Consistency is the biggest word for a team that's seeing some turnover right now.
Oh, wide open run. Armin puts it through. The equalizer from Jake Armin.
Ardman makes a great run out of the outside back position. Tampa Bay Rowdies outside backs are going to continue to get forward when they see the space that they can take. Rowdies have been able to switch the point of attack. Watch as in the middle of the field, they see that Armin's making this run. All they have to do is pass it off. It's a great ball that leads into Armin's run, which allows Armin to hit this one touch. Loudoun United not able to track back defensively and get into a 4-back position. So there's not a numbers up, and Armin able to tie this one up.
Second goal of the season and just the 6th appearance for Jake Armin. Jake LaCava gets the assist. He now has a goal and an assist in 2 matches plus 31 minutes since coming back to Tampa Bay. And it sort of felt like that was coming. If you were paying attention to the first 20 minutes and then the last 10, it felt like Tampa had taken some control of things.
Rowdies have found that they could switch the point of attack and throw off Loudoun United really quickly. The outside backs in Armin and Andley are consistently forward for this Rowdies side. Loudoun United not able to pick those numbers up.
This is Coas Santos making this run. A foul coming against Loudoun United. If you take the other point of view of this match, what was Loudoun doing for 20 minutes that they have not been doing lately?
Loudoun United were pressing really high and keeping the Tampa Bay Rowdies in their back half, allowing them to switch the point of attack that way, but not allowing them to connect within their midfield. Loudoun United has to continue to allow the Rowdies to be direct with their play, but once their midfield gets a hold of it, game over. They're switching the point of attack and being successful at it.
Throw here for Tampa. How about from a mental perspective? It's a Loudoun group that, you know, at times has had leads get away late in matches. Here, there's plenty of time to reset, but, you know, you've seen a 1-0 advantage vanish fairly quickly.
Loudoun United has to be consistent and get opportunities just to close games and not allow the small mental mistakes to separate themselves and allow teams to get back into the game. The high press and really stepping to teams and being consistent with their energy is what keeps them in the games and what's getting them results.
just joining us, it was Williamson in the 10th minute for Loudoun United and Armin in the 31st minute for Tampa Bay, and we are back level. Williams with the first touch here, but cleared away once again by Landry. Nice play by a fan there. You watch baseball games and they throw the foul balls back. Don't you think at soccer matches they should kick it back?
I know in the NWSL, kick it back. I don't know. I think there's a little bit more danger for them to actually kick it onto the field.
Good job to keep that in play. Tampa side. Tampa has certainly dominated possession of late. And this is where Loudoun could take advantage. They've scored a number of goals in transition this year. And Ryan is so dangerous in these situations. Here he is, tripped up in the box, and it's not going to be what the fans want. A foul, I guess, against Ryan, who was the one who ended up on the pitch.
Interesting call by the referee. Ryan was the one with the ball. Rowdies trying to close him down. There was a big scrum just at the top of the 18. Loudoun United not able to capitalize on that moment. Ryan trying to go down to get that shot because Ryan hasn't been on the ball much in this game. They haven't been able to use him as an outlet. Rather so, more so in like the last 10, 15 minutes. Ryan has to be a piece, or even Williamson, to help create the attack.
Now Ryan is down again. It's Aaron Guillen, who wears the captain's armband for Tampa Bay. Knocked him down.
Williamson playing the ball inside. Watch as Ryan's trying to turn, and he's the one who's actually pulled down by Guillen at the top of the 18. Wouldn't be a penalty kick if I were the referee, but it certainly wouldn't have been a foul conceded by Loudoun United. Rather conceded by the Rowdies.
You know, fans don't always make the best referees in the world, but you can certainly understand the frustration on that one.
Especially for Loudoun United, because they haven't been able to get opportunities in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Right off the top of the 18 would be a great free kick chance. This space is so much better for Loudoun United. They're getting in the wide areas and they're creating chances to hit the ball over the top, making the Rowdies sit back in a more defensive shape.
Armin misjudged that a little bit. Ends up with Santos getting back towards the middle of the field. Now, we've mentioned the injuries a couple times that Tampa has dealt with throughout the year, starting in preseason more than during the year, but that center back position for Loudoun United is currently Jace Clark's. And when you asked Ryan Martin this week, why does Clark get to take over that spot now? He said nothing against him, but he's the only one left. They have had a rash of injuries at that position specifically this year.
Jace Clark is an academy player, and Coach Martin talked about the fact that he's coming off an ACL from last year. He's very talented, but he doesn't have the experience or even the game readiness that Coach Martin would like in that center back role. However, playing next to Chica, a player who has the experience in his 10th game of the season, has to be in constant communication with Clark of where to be and when.
Another opportunity. This from Williamson, sailed well wide and high.
Williamson had the space to continue to run. It's a good idea from the outside midfielder. Tampa Bay, whenever Loudoun United has the ball and they're dribbling at the Rowdies back line, the Rowdies just continue to drop off and not step. Loudoun United, just like that one, has to find ways to take those shots and those opportunities, but just get over the ball.
Come on, Loudoun!
Let me ask you this, when you're playing a match like tonight where you have Clark making his first start, only his 4th appearance, he's just 17 years old, playing against guys 10 to 12 years his elder on the other side. As a left back or a right back, what can you do to support him?
constantly talking to Clark is how you can support a center back who doesn't have the experience. You want him to know that he has the confidence of the support of who's next to him, but you also have to encourage him. The goalkeeper has to do the same exact thing. Communication is massive for a young player who isn't experienced in the league yet.
Not really mentioned either goalkeeper much tonight, Jackman or Sparrow. Both have let a goal behind them. Not much really either could have done about either of them. Approaching 40 minutes gone in the first half here at Segra Field in Leesburg. Alongside Anna Whitty and our entire outstanding crew. Justin Galanti, glad you're with us here tonight. Just a perfect Saturday night as we start to wind down June. It'll be July next weekend.
Can't believe it. This season is flying by.
Kava couldn't quite turn and run with it. It is true. I mean, feels like a week ago was, March 11th when it was opening night for these teams.
16 games now played for Loudoun United. Starting to get their groove in the last 3 games. It sometimes takes that amount of time, a few months, for such a young roster to figure it out. Loudoun United, the youngest team, however, their average age is 23 years old. When we talk about Zach Ryan, he's one of the most experienced players, and he's only 24 years old. To give some perspective into the age difference between them and the Rowdies.
Trying to find Santos, but Jake Arman steps forward. Even, Neil Collins, the head coach for Tampa Bay, said to us that he feels like Loudoun has been unlucky to not get more results this year than it has. The long losing streak, neither coach felt like was due to a severe lack of good performance from the Loudoun players.
Sometimes in soccer, it's a small turnoff that results in a goal for the opposition, and that gets them result. Loudoun United has been consistent in 60 minutes of play, but it's now 90 minutes that they need to be even more consistent in to get those wins and those results.
Antley. And cleared away once again. Shots are just 2-2 to this point. Each side with 1 on target, and both of them were goals. The last match for Tampa Bay, not overly dissimilar to this against El Paso. Not a ton of chances on either side in that match. We'll see if that continues here. LaCava sends it for Charlie Dennis. Cava had the lone goal that night for Tampa, and a bit of a miss hit there from Dennis.
Awkward hit from Dennis. He got weirdest part of his foot on that ball, not able to curve that one inside. That's how the Rowdies are gonna have to start to continue to find those chances, is the wide areas that Loudoun United isn't living in. Williams can be in the box, players like Dennis can be out wide.
It's been an interesting match to this point in that there have been times where it feels like each side has been fairly dominant with what it wants to do, but if I were to ask you holistically who's had the better of play tonight, it would be, I would think, somewhat difficult to give an answer. It's been fairly even overall.
The tempo has been 50-50 for both sides. Loudoun United had the first half of the first half. Tampa Bay Rowdies had the second half of the first half. They haven't been able to really find their groove in the inconsistency of the game and come back from lulls in the game. In the second half, both sides are going to have to look to start the tempo a little bit early with the high press that we see from both sides to try and go up.
Just a couple minutes remaining before we hit the half. We'll see if either side can create anything in these final moments. Armin with the goal for Tampa and Williamson for Loudoun United. And Armin not quite on the same page there with Aaron Guillen.
You can hear the Rowdies scream, "Find Charlie." They want Dennis to be the person on the ball in the middle of the field, the facilitator. The Tampa Bay Rowdies have numbers up, and they're a little bit more talented in the middle of the field, so getting Dennis on the ball creates more chances in the build-up in the attack.
Out a bit behind Williams and settled down with Dane Jackman. It's one of those guys in Jackman, just 22 years old, but you have to be happy for him getting into this spot as a, part-time, if not half-time, starting goalkeeper for Loudoun United. His collegiate career interrupted so much by COVID as the Ivy League schools not only didn't play in 2020, also didn't play in 2021. That's 2 full years that he was not able to play, but still able to, earn a spot as a professional goalkeeper. Hard to imagine keeping in shape during all that time off, but a credit to him that he did it.
Coach Martin talked about Jackman in goal and saying that he has picked up this style of soccer and the professional level so quickly, and he's been so impressive how he's grown in such a short period of time. Jackman's a traditional style goalkeeper. He's a shot stopper. He's not a player that will see who, when he has pressure on him with the ball at his feet, be able to get out of those situations, an area that he needs to work on in that part of the game. However, Loudoun United has not put him in those situations. And when you're playing against a team like the Rowdies, you get so many shots off. You want somebody who's a traditional shot stopper in net.
You can see on your scoreboard at the top of your screen, 4 minutes of added time here in the first half. And stoppage time is brought to you by Novec, delivering power you can count on. I do love when coaches use the term they're good shot stoppers about their goalkeepers. I'd hate to have a goalkeeper that doesn't stop shots. That would be tough, wouldn't it?
What would you like them to describe them as?
I'm just saying.
No, I understand. I mean, shot stopper, but then there's this quote-unquote new age goalkeeper that Coach Martin was talking about that he has in Hugo in net, and more players who can play with their feet and be that fifth man in net on the back line. But yes, I completely agree. If you don't have a good shot stopper in net, I don't even know why you're playing with a goalkeeper in general.
It's one of those where, if you apply for a job, it's so obvious they don't even put it on the job requirements.
I understand. It makes complete sense. But when these coaches talk about it, it's so interesting to hear how they describe the new age goalkeeper and how this game has continued to grow in the last few years, really, having to use goalkeepers who can play with their feet, especially in this league where sometimes balls get into the box from the opposition's back line.
So many coaches talk about defense starting from the front, but it's also offense starting from the back, obviously, especially nowadays. About 2 minutes gone in the 4 minutes of added time here at a 1-1 score between Tampa Bay and Loudoun United. First of 2 meetings this season between these two. And again, not just a 6-match unbeaten streak, a 6-match win streak for Tampa Bay against Loudoun, outscoring them 20-3 over those 6 matchups. So to say this is a better start for Loudoun United tonight might be an understatement.
Loudoun United now pressing really high and not allowing Tampa Bay to build out, using these final few minutes of extra time just to give it everything they have, go high flying, and try and get a second one before they head into the locker room. I love the tactic and the sudden burst of energy from this young Loudoun United side.
Tampa Bay trying to make something happen on the other end, but well defended by Loudoun United once again. Williamson has the goal tonight. Good crowd on hand this evening at Segra Field in Leesburg. Wonderful way to spend a Saturday night. Jake Armin. Perhaps one final action before we hit halftime. Chica. Connor Sparrow has not had much action in a while, and that will continue as we get the whistle for halftime. Loudoun broke through early with Tommy Williamson's goal in the 10th minute. Jake Armin equalized in the 31st for Tampa Bay. And that is our score as we hit halftime. 1-1 between Loudoun United and Tampa Bay. We'll be back in just a moment. An early breakthrough, a physical match, and an entertaining first 45 just outside of the District of Columbia. We'll see what we get in the second half. Tampa trying to remain unbeaten for a 9th straight match.
Business today is fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. Segra is here to help you get what's next with our best-in-class connectivity, cybersecurity, cloud, and collaboration solutions. Whatever your business dreams, we have the network and services to get you there. Segra, giving your business the freedom to grow today. Segra is a proud sponsor of the Loudoun United Football Club.
There are certain things we've come to expect in Northern Virginia. Traffic jams, tourists, cherry blossoms, and reliable power from Novec. With a 99.99% rating, Novec's reliability is among the best in the region. To keep that high service level, Novec regularly upgrades its electric system equipment with new poles, wire, and cutting-edge technology. Novec, delivering power you can count on.
Back at Segra Stadium in Virginia, a 1-1 score at halftime between Loudoun United and Tampa Bay Rowdies, and I guess there's some face painting going on, some pretty intimidating stuff that neither Anna or I partook in. Tonight, Loudoun United FC's next home match is Monday, July 3rd. Celebrate 7:03 night and post-match fireworks. We're celebrating all of the things and people that make the 703 great. Local shops will be set up around the concourse for fans to visit and shop. The family 4-pack is back. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 drinks for just $64. The ticket and beer package is also back. Purchase a $20 ticket and enjoy an ice-cold Miller Lite or Coors Light. Stick around after the match for a spectacular Star-Spangled celebration. Get your tickets now at LoudounUnitedFC.com. Take a look at the next 5 matches coming up for Loudoun, and some difficult sides on there, and 3 on the road for this group. Charleston, the one that's up next, Anna.
Charleston Battery sitting at the top of the table in the Eastern standings will be a massive test for this Loudoun United side, who's taking on Tampa Bay, who's in the 3rd spot right now, really well. Then they'll be back at home against Hartford, who's at the bottom of the standings right now. Louisville City, who's in the middle, and then Detroit City, Orange County. Some really good competition for Loudoun United in the next 5.
You know, Tampa Bay is going to make everyone in America jealous because next week they're going to Vegas.
Las Vegas Lights is a team that's sitting at the bottom of the standings. They're looking for shots and shots, so defensively, Tampa Bay has to be aware of their attack, and they'll be playing at home against Oakland Roots. Birmingham, who's sitting in the middle of the table right now in the Eastern standings, and Indy 11 and FC Tulsa. Another good tall task for Tampa Bay Rowdies. However, this Loudoun United side giving them a huge test in the next 6.
Should be a fun second half. We're going to hit another break. When we come back, we'll have stats and highlights as well as news and notes from around the league. At the break, Loudoun United 1, Tampa Bay 1. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
We're back at halftime in Leesburg, a 1-1 score at the break between Loudoun United FC and Tampa Bay Rowdies. An entertaining first half and expecting more fun in the second. Let's check out some news and notes from around the USL Championship. The Proud to Be platform is a declaration of our club's pride activations, awareness, and telling LGBTQ+ stories across USL. Go to www.uslsoccer.com/proud2be for more. I don't want to read the HT. Yeah, everyone knows how to put that first, right? Welcome Dominique Wilkins, NBA Hall of Famer, former Atlanta Hawk, is joining Birmingham Legion FC as an investor in their ownership group, which is great. And USL on ESPN2 coming up, 11 o'clock Eastern next Saturday. Phoenix Rising FC will take on Memphis 901 FC. Later on tonight, 6 more matches around the USL Championship. And Anna, I know you're really looking forward to that Monterey Bay-Miami duel.
Monterey Bay on a 4-game unbeaten streak. Miami with the new interim head coach here tonight should be a really good contest for Miami and Monterey Bay. Miami looking to get a result, and energy after moving on from their head coach earlier this week. Monterey Bay has some very talented forwards who are consistent at scoring, but some really good matchups across the league here tonight. Should be a good evening of USL Championship soccer.
Loudoun United again, just going back to what's coming up for them. One thing that really stands out is quick turnarounds, right? Only 5 days between the Hartford and Louisville matches, even less than that between Louisville and Detroit, and even less than that between Detroit and Orange County. So, you know, their coach said, we're young, it's okay. I guess it's okay, but this is going to be a little bit of a tough stretch, don't you think?
The youth will be very important for what is going to be a tough stretch for this side, especially when you start with the Charleston Battery and then you move forward from there. Using their depth will be important as well for Loudoun United. A lot of players are going to have to get more minutes and be able to use their depth this next part of the season.
Only one more break, and then we'll have second half soccer, stats, highlights, and then more action coming up from Leesburg. Those kids are having a good time. We hope you're having a good time as well. 1-1, Loudoun United and Tampa Bay Rowdies locked at the break.
Business today is fast, unpredictable, always changing. Shifting trends and technologies are pushing aside old rules. The unexpected is the new normal. Segra is here to help you get what's next with our best-in-class connectivity, cybersecurity, cloud, and collaboration solutions. Whatever your business dreams, we have the network and services to get you there. Segra, giving your business the freedom to grow today. Segra is a proud sponsor of the Loudoun United Football Club.
Second half about to get started between Loudoun United and Tampa Bay Rowdies. Locked at 1 after the first half. But Anna Whitty, before we can start the second half, we have to look back at what happened in the first 45 minutes. Did not take too long for the home side to get on the board.
Loudoun United started very strong with their high press, and they were connecting passes through the midfield. Rocha did a really good job of connecting passes, eventually to Williamson to result in the goal. Rocha has been able to switch the point of attack for this Loudoun United side when they had the high press and when they were stepping early. As this match went on, Tampa Bay Rowdies started to take control. They were switching the point of attack through their back line and really starting to work the ball up through their midfield, slicing through this Loudoun United back line, throwing them off. The outside backs of Tampa Bay Rowdies are getting very involved as well, taking out this option. As this game goes on, one of these sides has to really set the tempo, because in the first half, it was 50-50 to both sides. One shot on target for both sides. The possession was fairly even. Tampa Bay, with 3 corner kicks, weren't able to convert or really create anything deadly. Rowdies have to start working on really creating chances off their set pieces. And 3 shots on goal for the Rowdies, 2 for Loudoun United. This game has mostly been played inside the 18s. For both sides, they have to find themselves inside the 18 to get options.
And our first half stats are brought to you by Betfred. So as we get set to begin half number 2, you can see the sun has left us. All darkness around the field. Curious from your perspective, who do you think went into that halftime break happier about the way the first 45 minutes went?
Loudoun United had to be a lot happier than the Tampa Bay Rowdies because they ended the game on a high note. They were high flying, they were collectively pushing together, and there were a few chances in extra time that Loudoun United could have scored another goal. Tampa Bay Rowdies have to stay compact, but they also have to make sure when they're switching the point of attack with their back line, that they're really trying to get forward as well, because Loudoun United has that youth and the right mindset to step in when they have the opportunity.
We touched earlier on the fact that Loudoun United played Wednesday night, and it's been a full week off for Tampa Bay. The tired legs conversation, we had it in the first half, but you probably wouldn't see the effects in the first half. It would be as the second half wears on, correct?
Loudoun United has to make sure in the second half that those potential tired legs of Wednesday don't affect them in the second half. They have to make sure that they're staying compact, and communication is the biggest part when you're feeling tired.
Second half underway. If you're just joining us, the all highlighter kits for Tampa and the home whites for Loudoun United.
How do you feel about the highlighter kits? They're very bright and you can't miss them, that's for sure.
You know, I'm all about making a statement, and I think they make a statement.
It's totally fair.
You know, the thing is, if you're just going out in public, you could probably never get away with wearing something like that, but you have an excuse to wear something like that when you're a professional soccer player.
It's the one time in your life that you can wear something that in public is kind of strange, but on the soccer field, it's totally normal, except to maybe us.
Yeah, and honestly, if there's a traffic jam after the match,
Yeah.
they can go tell people where to go.
That is such a fair point.
Well, it was Loudoun United, which was the much better side at the first part, I guess, of the first half. So we'll see if that continues out of halftime. Again, the goal from Williamson in the 10th minute, but you know they would love to get Zach Ryan a little more involved in the second half than he was in the first.
Zach Ryan finding himself in the box, looking for that corner, or rather that cross coming inside. Ryan, a player who had the touches in the first 10-15 minutes. He was driving at Tampa Bay's back line. Rowdies have found that Ryan is the number that they're going to, so Ryan's going to have to drop back a little bit more defensively or really live on the shoulders of center backs to try himself in behind.
And you remember there was that odd little sequence where he was tripped up just outside the 18-yard mark, and he was the one who was called for a foul. You didn't necessarily think it should have been a PK, but perhaps a foul at the least, not a foul on him. But that's kind of a sequence that could have changed a lot of things in the first half had a whistle gone the other way, I should say. Pretty quiet first halves for both goalkeepers. Dane Jackman for Loudoun United, Connor Sparrow for Tampa Bay Rowdies. We'll see if those guys get a little more action in the second half. It's interesting, you know, as we get later into the second half, you think about Tampa Bay, no matter who you're playing, you would love to get a result on the road. Loudoun United, because you're playing a very good side, you'd love to get a result no matter what. So you wonder how aggressive each side is to try and get a full 3 the longer we remain tied at 1-1. This is Antley. Cross comes in and handled easily by Jackman.
At the beginning of the second half, both sides are going to be patient with their buildup. They're going to wait for their chances. However, for Loudoun United, as this game goes on and it opens up, they're going to be a little bit more aggressive going out this Rowdies back line when they can.
Here's Jackson Hopkins. Cross in front, no one there for it. And you could see Tommy Williamson give the thumbs up. It was a wonderful ball, and perhaps Williamson should have kept on with that run.
Hopkins was not going to find Williamson at the top of the 6 because of the angle he had. Watch as Hopkins gets inside. The only option that he has is far post. Instead, that's an opportunity for Williamson just to continue his run and get a touch on that one.
It was deflected, though, so a corner coming for Loudoun United. Play this short. Husu Landry Working it forward, sends it out wide. An opportunity here for Ryan. And it was just wide off the deflection.
Ryan making a great run towards near post, but it's very difficult to find goals when you're very close to near post. Instead, hold that run as that ball comes inside, because changing your hips in that option would have been really difficult. Watch as Ryan makes this run inside. There's already a defender goal side. Instead, cut that ball back, find somebody behind, or take that shot with your left foot.
Another corner. Once again, it's Loudoun United coming out very spirited to begin a half. Landry again came right back towards him, then near Williamson. Eventually Tampa able to win the ball.
Good pressure from Loudoun United. They're keeping the Tampa Bay Rowdies pinned in. They're wanting to set the tempo right now. They want to have the ball at their feet and continue to find their attack. Loudoun United's about how they are going to continue to sustain this high press and the possession.
Williamson once again tried to lay it off for Ryan, but the pass didn't get through. Hard hit there at midfield. And a player down here, looked like there was some contact up high on Daniel Chica.
Chica, a player that Loudoun United cannot afford to lose because of his experience on that back line. Watches two different players go up to contest that ball. It's not a foul on anyone, just unfortunate. They clip each other. Good to see Chica back up on his feet and jogging off the field. You want to make sure when two players go up for a header, they knock heads, you do the proper evaluation before you allow them continue to play.
Chica, another very young member of this Loudoun United team, just 21 years old, joined the roster in December of 2022 after playing 2 seasons not far from Leesburg at George Mason University.
We talk about the youth and the experience on Loudoun United. Chica, a player with experience, but he's only 21 years old. So this Loudoun United side really has a young team when we talk about players having the experience only in their early 20s.
And obviously a big reason for the youth of Loudoun United is the relationship with DC United, used as kind of a second team. So it's the nature of things that they would be younger than the rest of the league. But it's such great experience for them to get to play older competition so early in their careers.
It's not only great experience for that.
Oakland, or I should say Tampa Bay, one of the older teams in the league, and nearly Charlie Dennis thought he earned a penalty there, but no call.
Not only is the experience important for this Loudoun United side playing against players who are older than them, but also the experience within their own team and having to take on that captain or that leadership role in a professional setting at such a young age, that within their future in professional soccer, they're going to have that in their back pocket that they can use going forward, no matter what league or what team they play on.
You know, put it this way, Loudoun United has a player on its roster who is unfortunately injured at the moment, Matai Akimboni, who is 16 years old. Tampa Bay has a player on its roster in Lucky Mkosana, who's 35. So Mkosana is a sophomore in college, older than Akimboni, and you know they could play against each other. This shot is just wide from Williams.
Loudoun United has not used their age as a crutch at all. Instead, they've used it as an opportunity to show what they have. And innocence is bliss in some instances of the word, because they've been able to go into games against teams that are older, way more experienced in the league, have players who are experienced players who see the game and have been a part of the game for a longer period of time, and give it their all and show and prove what they have. It's resulted in a tie so far for Loudoun United, and they have not given up with their high press.
Seems like things are a little more open in the second half than we saw in the first. A couple chances on each side to this point. That was the real first true opportunity for Williams we've seen tonight, who's tied for the team lead with 6 goals. This ball comes all the way through to Jackson Hopkins once again. Hopkins having one, and it's blocked by Kleeman, but stays in play. Williamson already a goal tonight, lays it off, one touch home from Hopkins.
Hopkins continuing his run into the attack. He holds his run as well. The player who actually started this play for Loudoun United, getting out of the midfield, drawing the attention to the left side of the field. Tampa Bay Rowdies were not able to get into position defensively to slow this down. Watch as Hopkins is the one who initially receives the ball, looking for the shot, and instead of continuing his run inside the box, he drags himself at the top of the 18 and waits for that ball to come inside. Nobody steps to Hopkins. No defender for the Rowdies sees that ball coming inside, and all Hopkins has to do is receive that ball, one touch, and use his instep so he can direct it side netting. There's enough power coming on that ball. He doesn't need to finish it with a powerful shot. Instead, Hopkins does a great job of sliding that one exactly where he wants it to go with his instep.
Second goal this year for Jackson Hopkins. And Tommy Williamson gets an assist, so a goal and an assist for Williamson tonight. And a 2-1 advantage for Loudoun United. And we return, Anna, to a place we were in the first half, a quick lead out of halftime for the home side.
We mentioned in the first half that Loudoun United only had 4 touches inside Tampa Bay Rowdies 18. So far, only 10 minutes into the second half, they've touched the ball 6 times inside of the Rowdies 18. They're getting more numbers forward, and it's because of the high press and getting players like Hopkins into the attack a little bit more, taking that risk.
Hopkins just 18 years of age, spent time in the DC United as well as New York Red Bulls academies, and was signed by DC United as a homegrown player back in April of 2022. Tonight, appearing in his 7th match and getting his 6th start of the year. It's starting to look like Woodstock on the far side of the pitch there.
A little late a delay of fog coming onto the field, but it's cool to see that these fans at Segra Field are getting into the game and celebrating with this Loudoun United side. A team who needs that from their fans at such a young age, feeling that professional experience of their fans cheering them on and getting into this match.
Such a beautiful facility and a great place for Loudoun United to be able to call home. A 2-1 lead in the 57th minute. Hopkins with the go-ahead goal in the 54th. One thing that stood out, at least to me in the first half, was the patience but well-executed response of Tampa Bay after conceding the goal. Wasn't like they did anything quickly or were overly aggressive in trying to get the goal back, just slowly got back to their game, and eventually they were able to score. We'll see if they do something similar here in the second half.
The Rowdies are finding themselves chasing right now, not in the defensive structure that's allowed them to win the ball quickly. JJ Williams is jogging to each center back whenever they receive the ball. The Rowdies need more of a high press and more energy exerted from their front 4 to win the ball back higher up the field. Loudoun United's dominating the middle of the field in the second half as well, being able to create those turnovers. Landry, Rocha, Hopkins are being able to facilitate that play centrally, keeping the Rowdies out of it.
You know, Neil Collins, the head coach for Tampa Bay, pointed out that high press is kind of the main reason that the season turned around for Tampa Bay. So sometimes things can be based on an opponent or a circumstance, but it's interesting, as you've said, that we have not seen it a ton here tonight.
Coach Collins felt that they didn't need the high press to start the season. The end of the 2022 season, that's how they played, was with the high press and continuing to push their players forward. Collins realized that because they don't have the personnel in the middle of the field and in the attack that they'd had last season, they want that high press to get the ball higher up the field when they receive it, so that there's less time for them to have to think about where they're going to pass it next to try and score.
Jackson Hopkins appeared to take some contact up high as he gets checked on here.
Hopkins grabbing his face, watches, he's going to defend that ball. A lot of contact from the shoulder of Doherty on Hopkins as he goes down.
I think he got hit in the chin with the ball right before the contact from the elbow, so it was a
double whammy.
Yeah.
Good no call from the referee, though. Just a lot of physical contact from Doherty trying to win it back.
Really a clean match tonight. Not many fouls. We haven't seen any cards. Good flow throughout the first hour.
You can see Zane directing play to Clark. He's pointing exactly where he wants Clark to be on the field when Jacquemin wins the ball, trying to possess out of that play. That's the type of leadership that Clark needs from the players next to him and in front of him, as he's getting a big start here at the center back role tonight.
Connor Antley moving forward with it for Tampa Bay. Even at times in this match when Tampa Bay has been the better side, it's hard to point out moments where it has felt like they've had the rhythm they normally do with their offense. Here's a takeaway by Hopkins, creating perhaps another chance. Williamson trying to split a couple defenders, and a foul now against Williamson. Good recovery after the turnover by Tampa Bay.
You make a great point about the attack for the Rowdies, is we haven't seen that connection between Dennis and Williams that Coach Collins has been big on this season. For the Rowdies, it's been about finding themselves in the middle of the field, then finding the players out wide in transition. But the front four haven't been as dangerous as we have normally seen of them as late, and it's credit to how Loudoun United is structuring their midfield, playing in that double pivot in the 6 to screen those balls coming to their center back and really helping out that defensive play.
Williamson once again, not quite on the same page with Abdul Zane there. Great recovery, though, by Zane. This match was level at 1 at halftime. Tommy Williamson scored for Loudoun United early in the first half. Jake Arman equalized in the first for Tampa. Tampa Bay looking for an equalizer after falling behind again here in the second half on the 54th minute goal from Jackson Hopkins, and it looks like Tampa Bay about to bring on a couple of substitutions here.
Tampa Bay so much better inside the 18 because Dennis got on the ball, was able to find balls inside the 18, pitch it out wide. No actual chances are created, but it's much better because centrally the Rowdies are getting themselves on the ball.
Cal Jennings comes on for Jan Ekra. Jennings, the 26-year-old, spent some time with Las Vegas as well as LAFC last year.
In the 64th minute. Now exiting the match, number 7.
And Dayon Harris entering as well. Former UConn Husky and Penn State Nittany Lion. He's been with Tampa Bay since 2021. And those substitutions are brought to you by Segra.
All substitutions are brought to you by Segra.
you know, still a lot of time, obviously, in this match, but Loudoun United went through that losing streak, obviously, that lasted from April 29th to June 3rd. They won 2 in a row and then lost on Wednesday night on the road at Birmingham. So it's a road match. It's a very difficult opponent. And I think we'd both agree they played better than the 2-0 defeat. But then if you look at things, if they were able to hold on and get this win tonight, well, then that's 3 wins out of 4. This one coming against a really strong opponent, and you start to really feel like this team is turning things around.
Loudoun United talked about the Birmingham Legion game, saying it was just one mental error that resulted in the first goal, and it went from there for Loudoun United. This game against Tampa Bay Rowdies, a team who's at the top of the Eastern standings, has had results in 2022 getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. This would be a massive confidence boost for Loudoun United headed into the back half of their season, proving to themselves that they can get the result, they can get it done against a top team in the league. Consistency is the biggest word as the end of the season starts to come around, is the players making sure they stay healthy and they're getting consistent minutes together.
Here's Dayon Harris, wins a corner for Tampa Bay. And a substitution here as Wesley Leggett comes on for Tommy Williamson, who had a wonderful night with a goal and an assist for Loudoun United. And Leggett comes on for the 17th time this year.
Leggett, a player for Loudoun United who's been in and out of the starting 11 this season. He is a player who links up well with Ryan, with Hopkins, and Roshan behind. He's going to be able to provide some fresh legs for this Loudoun United side to continue this high press, to get into the wide areas and trying to continue to find opportunities inside the 18.
That substitution brought to you by Segra. Charlie Dennis sends this in. It's a dangerous ball. And Freddie Kleeman got a touch on it, but couldn't quite direct it on target.
Kleeman had the height difference against Loudoun United, was able to get over that one, but he wasn't able to redirect it in a good spot. Dennis with a great service, just Kleeman not in the right spot. Watch as Dennis receives this ball. It's a great ball inside the 18 on top of the 6. Kleeman has the height difference. He's not able to redirect that where he wants it.
Again, though, this is, I don't know, it seems eerily similar to the first half where it's sort of a subtle change after Loudoun was able to score. And sometimes it's natural, you play a little more desperate from behind, but subtly, Tampa Bay starting to have more possession, more opportunities, and looking for that equalizer as we approach the 68-minute mark.
Rowdies making a smart decision to make 3 substitutions, one of them being in the attack and one of them being in the midfield, where the Rowdies have, as in the last few minutes, been able to live on the ball a little bit more. Jennings has been able to facilitate more. Kleeman has the physicality to get inside of the 18. Fresh legs, that's what the Rowdies need, is just people bringing on energy all 3 phases of the field.
There's Wesley Leggett, the one substitution that Loudoun United have made so far, but ball taken from him. Jordan Doherty. Shots are 5-5 tonight, and 2-1 on target in favor of Loudoun United. Harris in front, and we are level. What a ball by Harris. And once again, Tampa Bay have found the equalizer, Cal Jennings this time makes it 2-2.
Two of the substitutions for the Rowdies making the difference in the attack. Harris with a class ball on top of the 6. Harris gets into the wide areas and does a good job to continue his run because nobody from Loudoun United is closing down that space. Watches Harris as he gets that ball inside the 6. The ball stays on the ground, which makes it really easy for Jennings to finish that ball. The ball coming in with the pace, all Jennings has to do is get a touch on it to redirect it because of the pace and speed that's behind it. Well-timed run by the midfielders for the Rowdies to tie this one up. Substitutions can make all the difference, especially in the second half, and it's paid off for the Rowdies in the attack. Just fresh legs, a different look. Harris and Jennings being able to watch the field on this, or rather watch the game on the sidelines and see what the changes need to be made. Harris doing something that we haven't seen the Rowdies do, which are exploit the wide areas.
Jennings with his 3rd goal of the season. Harris his 2nd assist. Both of those guys have started 8 times this year. So experienced in both roles, this being both of their 14th appearances. And they combine to level this match at 2-2. And once again, you see the veteran group of Tampa Bay. No fear, no panic after falling behind. They've fallen behind by a goal twice. On the first occasion, it took them about 21 minutes to equalize. This time, just about 16 minutes. And it's 2-2. And all 4 shots on target in this match have been goals.
Neither side is taking a shot or missing it. They're being very selective with their shots for both sides, wanting to take a few more chances and live a little bit more dangerously once they get closer to the 18 to try and find options outside the 18. We haven't seen either side try and take shots from range, where both sides have the option to capitalize on those opportunities. Sometimes teams who feel like they have to be right there to score the goal miss out on so many chances by passing it off instead of taking an opportunity and a risk in an area that's a little less likely to finish, rather to capitalize and score.
So one thing we haven't seen tonight is either team be able to continue the momentum of scoring. It feels like both times Loudoun scored, Tampa Bay were the better side until equalizing both times. And then remember in the first half, you felt like it was Loudoun United which closed the half better. So we'll see what happens now after we've gotten to 2-2. Can Tampa Bay continue the momentum, or will Loudoun respond again?
It feels like we're starting to watch a mirror of the first half of Loudoun United getting the options early, Rowdies coming back. Rowdies now have to take a lesson out of the book in the first half and know that they cannot sit back on their heels. They have to apply that pressure and continue to try and dominate the ball centrally.
Well-defended situation there by Tampa Bay. And Rowdies are moving forward with it. Remember that perhaps the top threat offensively tonight, Tommy Williamson for Loudoun United, was subbed off a few minutes ago. So they'll have to try and find something without him, as a free kick will come in just a moment here for Tampa Bay.
Too much pressure from Landry centrally, an area that he did not need to win that ball. Instead, continue to just keep moving your feet, moving the Rowdies player sideways. This sets up a really good opportunity for the Rowdies to go up here.
So it's Dennis and Antley standing over it. Dennis right into the wall.
Interesting decision by Dennis that he was trying to just go right through the wall instead of use the options that he had running in on the right side of the 18.
Couple of substitutions again brought to you by Segra. Juan Ramirez in for Jeremy Gare. And Jackson Hopkins comes off, replaced by Abdul Kawanda.
And number 12, Jackson Hopkins. Now entering the match, number 8, Abdul Kawanda. And number 17, Juan Ramirez. All substitutions are brought to you by Segra.
Loudoun United now starting to create their opportunities by setting the tempo, by settling down. It's a ball over top Rowdies back line that's extremely unnecessary by Loudoun United because the Rowdies are all dropped back defensively. They're gonna win the ball, they have the numbers up. Loudoun United has to be smart in their build-up, be okay with having the ball at their feet at this point of the game to change this momentum. Loudoun United, a team in USL Championship who connects the second most passes within the league. They like to possess, they want to live on the ball throughout the majority of the season. However, against the Rowdies, it's been about connecting in transition and finding outlets to go out quickly. Loudoun United's done a good job of changing a little bit of their game in the attacking third to capitalize on what they're being given.
Trying to make something happen in transition here. They were looking for Santos. You know, we mentioned a couple times the struggles, the losing streak of late for Loudoun United, but it is worth pointing out last year this was a group that finished 11th in the Eastern Conference. They are 8th entering play tonight. So in a better spot right now than it was last year, and certainly more than anything, in a spot at the moment in a tight Eastern Conference where a couple of good results in a row and all of a sudden you're moving up a few spots.
Loudoun United has not hung their heads on what happened on Wednesday, losing to Birmingham Legion. They've stepped onto the pitch against the Rowdies and given it their best effort.
Jennings once again trying to find Williams.
It's a long season too, and when you have a young team like Loudoun United is, they're gonna have to go with the ebbs and flows and learn from this.
Williams finding Jennings, delaying, and he scores! A brace for Jennings, and Tampa Bay ahead for the first time.
Williams has nobody stepping to him as he's dribbling towards near post. Williams could not finish that ball from that angle. Jennings realizes that and continues his run inside the 18. Watches Williams is the one who wins this ball against Loudoun United, and he just continues his run because nobody is stepping to him and making it difficult for him to play. Jennings has no mark. He's patient at the top of the 6. The ball gets played on the ground for Williams, so it's very easy for Jennings to deal with. And watch as Jennings comes onto your screen from the right side. So patient, he cuts that ball inside, which makes the defender run across, and it's an easy slot home.
So Jennings comes on as a reserve and has goals in the 70th minute and the 78th minute on 2 of the best services you'll ever get. And Tampa Bay ahead 3-2 now. I was going to say that, you know, Jennings, who got the goal earlier, might owe Dayon Harris dinner tonight. I guess Williams is now invited to whatever establishment Jennings is paying for tonight's meal at.
Not to discredit what Jennings did to create those opportunities.
Sure.
However, you need players on the other side of the ball to be great assisters to see Jennings make that run. I don't know, Jennings should be asking for a high-priced meal because I don't think those balls could be any better.
No doubt about it. So now, this is a tough test for a young group. How do you play these final, 11, 12, 13 minutes, whatever it ends up being, a match that you never trailed until right now, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a tough spot.
Loudoun United has to be like goldfish and forget about exactly what's happened in the last 80 minutes. Treat this game as it's 0-0, or they are down in this moment, obviously, and just continue to go high press, but be calm. You don't want a young team to get nervous or frazzled by the score line. The communication has to be consistent, and what Loudoun United did in the first 20 minutes with the high press and connecting with their forward players works well.
Tampa Bay with 25 points entering tonight. A win this evening would, at least for a moment, jump them ahead of Memphis and level them with Pittsburgh, who is playing right now, but also has 28 points. First place at the moment in the Eastern Conference is Charleston with 29 points. So Tampa Bay would find itself very close to the top if it could walk away with 3 points tonight. And I think if you asked anybody at the start of the year where you thought Tampa Bay would be on what is today, June 24th, I think you would say right near the top, a group that's been to the Eastern Conference Final 3 years in a row and to the league final 2 out of 3.
Loudoun United in a crucial position right now because they have to take on the Charleston Battery next week, who has only conceded 24 goals this season, scored 21 goals. Charleston has done a really good job of holding that #1 place this season. So if Loudoun United doesn't get the result here tonight, they have a massive test for them next week that they're going to have to bounce back from a loss and play against a top team in the Eastern standings.
Off the corner, Chica was down for a moment and cleared away. It is somewhat remarkable, and I just want to go back to what you just said. I mean, Charleston's been in first place most of the year and has negative goal differential. You do not see that much.
You do not see that much. Charleston with 8 wins, 5 draws, 4 losses, has been able to give up the 24 goals and still get those results. That's a bright side for Loudoun United to look at if you're looking ahead. But first and foremost, they have to get the result here tonight against Tampa Bay at home. They've had the opportunities. The areas to exploit the Rowdies is in behind when they're pressing high, but they have to be patient with when they choose to do that.
Now, of course, the top 8 teams in each conference go to the playoffs. So if the season ended today, Loudoun would be in the playoffs, as we have a yellow shown here to Jennings after that last challenge. So a brace and a card to match his uniform this evening for Cal Jennings.
A yellow card has been issued in the 83rd minute to the Tampa Bay
Cal
Rowdies.
Jennings with just a lot of pressure on Jacquemin, unnecessarily goes for the feet rather than going for the ball.
Landry tripped up, and whoa, they have called a penalty here. Wow.
Of all the calls the referee has made tonight inside the 18, this isn't the one I would have called a PK. However, this is a great opportunity for Loudoun United. Watch as Landry sees the space that he has, continues to dribble. 2 different players from Tampa Bay Rowdies start to close him down, and instead of really moving with the player, they step in front of Landry. There was no contact on Landry.
Yeah.
Nobody went for Landry in particular, but they were in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Well, it looks like the call was actually, and it looked initially like the signal was for a penalty, but
He did.
it's just going to be a free kick. Unless both of us saw something
No,
wrong.
you were right, Justin. He pointed to the penalty spot.
But on the replay, I do think it was a foul, but I think, there were a couple times where contact was made with Landry, but the initial push from the back came just outside the box. But it looks like we're going to have a conversation here among the officials. And a yellow being shown now to the Loudoun United bench. So I would assume that's because the initial indication was it would be a penalty, and instead just a free kick. All right, so the free kick goes right into the wall, and an opportunity Loudoun feels like it should have had. It does not. As we look at these subs again, brought to you by Segra, Alem, and Espinal coming on. This is the call in question.
Landry gets the contact as he's going inside the 18. Williams applies that pressure, so it's a good call for that not to be a PK because Landry goes down just outside the 18 with the initial contact. That was way more confusing than it needed to be.
So, Ignacio Lem is on, as well as Isaac Espinal. See Ryan come off, and he was held in check tonight. Credit to Tampa Bay against one of the league's best goal scorers. Another opportunity. What do we have here? Chica shown a red. Chica is sent off. And he seems more disappointed than surprised with that call.
Jennings is trying to win this ball as he's going forward. It becomes 1v1 between Chica and Jennings. From the angle we initially saw, it looked like Chica got his right foot extended just to stop the play.
A red card has been issued in the 86th minute.
See the replay between Jennings and Chica. Watch as Chica goes inside. Cleats up is the call. You can't put your cleats up against a player. Instead, Chica could have just moved his body inside. Watch as the right leg of Chica gets on Jennings. The cleats go into Jennings, so that is a straight red for Chica. And now Loudoun United has to play a man down. Or they had the opportunity to go up, and now they put themselves in a bad position late in the game.
It's amazing how things can change in an instant. Loudoun United, no more than 2 minutes ago, felt like it had earned an opportunity to level this match with a penalty kick. And 90 seconds, 2 minutes later, they don't get the PK, they take a red, and this a very hard challenge again, and a yellow shown to Forrest Lasso, and the Loudoun United supporters making their opinion known.
Leggett had a breakaway and had an opportunity to continue to go as Rowdies were trying to get back defensively. Watch as Leggett continues to go, and Lasso just gets his left leg in there, flips Leggett as he's trying to make that run unnecessarily. You mentioned, Justin, a few minutes ago, rather at the beginning of the second half, that we haven't seen a lot of physical contact.
I take it back.
They waited till the bitter end to give us all of it.
So Loudoun playing a man down. Trailing 3-2. 88th minute is gone. This is Santos. Sends it over the top and handled well by Tampa once again. Every moment so tense here. Comes to the top. Ramirez to his right foot. Couldn't get the shot through. It was Lasso who got it with his head. Cal Jennings equalized in the 70th minute and then put Tampa Bay ahead in the 78th. Will that hold up as the winner tonight? Tampa Bay hoping for a 7th consecutive win overall against Loudoun United and looking to run its unbeaten streak this season to 9 consecutive matches. Williams right into a man, keeps it in the area, and the shot goes well wide.
Much better from this Loudoun United side, playing a man down, but keeping the Rowdies pinned in. Watch as this ball comes inside. Loudoun United keeps it alive, and Alim turns his entire body. Instead, he had a player to lay that one off to, but a much better angle on frame.
We will have 5 minutes of stoppage time here. And stoppage time is brought to you by Novec, delivering power you can count on. Both of these coaches told us, Anna, that they felt like Loudoun United have played well enough to earn more results than it has gotten in the last couple weeks. And it's trending towards tonight being another match that goes in that column. I mean, Tampa Bay has certainly earned the lead it has, but Loudoun United likely will feel as if it could have gotten more out of tonight if they're unable to equalize.
Coach Martin talked about the last game and the last few losses for Loudoun United being small mental errors. That's what we saw in the red card for Chica, unnecessarily putting your cleat up and putting your team in a position where you've had so many chances in the last 5 minutes to put this game back in tying position. Unfortunate for Chica, and the mental errors continue to be something that Loudoun United has been struggling with.
You wonder how much of that was frustration from the sequence that occurred on the other end of the pitch, right?
You could say frustration. However, frustration, mental errors, I'd say you clump that all into the same thing.
Sure.
When you're a professional soccer player, you have to keep your emotions in check and do your responsibility.
Not much time left for Loudoun to try and find an equalizer, a man down. Abdul Kawanda. And a foul on Wesley Leggett. And you can see just a lot of contention with every single call now. Frustration starting to seep in a bit. There's a save for Dane Jackaman. Remarkably, Anna, the first save of the night on either side. All 5 prior shots on target ended up in the back of the net. And a nice job by Abdul Kawanda to help earn a corner here for Loudoun simply through his hustle on that play.
Potentially one of the last opportunities for Loudoun United to find an opportunity inside the 18 where they're looking to score. Jackaman getting inside the box as well, helping out Loudoun United get those high percentage chances.
Kawanda again in front. What a chance. Shot doesn't get through from Rocha. Look at Abdul Kawanda though. Omnipresent late in this match. Back the other way, Doherty took a hard hit. They'll let him play the advantage. Cal Jennings slays it off, and Tampa Bay have scored again. Jake LaCava puts this match to rest.
Jennings with a great run that's initially played in by Doherty, who finds Jennings getting himself in behind this really stretched Loudoun United back line. LaCava sees the opportunity to continue his run too. LaCava is so patient that he doesn't get ahead of the Loudoun United players. He waits so that he doesn't find himself in an offside position. Watches Jennings, he takes this ball all the way up, and as soon as Jacquemin steps off of his line, he sees that LaCava is here with his run. 2v1 situation. All Jennings had to do was keep that one on the ground, and LaCava slides this one home with no pressure on him.
And I don't want to let this go unnoticed. That was a man who had a hat trick standing seemingly right in front of him, and Jennings still makes the right play to lay that ball off to LaCava, who now has 2 goals and an assist in 3 matches back with Tampa Bay.
Jennings showing how unselfish he is and how much he is for this team. Jennings came onto the pitch as a substitute. Didn't even play in the first half, but it's completely changed the dynamic of this game and the way that the Rowdies have been able to play in the attack because of how confident he is on the ball. He brings so many numbers forward with him when he gets the ball at his feet. You could also argue, Justin, that he didn't have someone playing a great ball, so he didn't want to finish it. Actually, Doherty had a great ball, so I take that back.
He was already spending enough money on meals for his teammates tonight that he needed someone to reimburse him. And the frustration continues from Ryan Martin, the head coach for Loudoun United. What a second half from Tampa Bay Rowdies tonight. They have scored the final 3 goals of this match and earn a 4-2 victory on the road.
Loudoun United had opportunities to put this game away in the middle of the second half. However, the mental errors struck Loudoun United again. Jennings stepped on the pitch and created chances in the middle of the field. He was there to finish opportunities. Harris with a great cross inside. This collective attack from the Rowdies, rather they started, come off the bench, the depth that they have has proven to be so deadly and something that is very hard to stop if you don't put this game away early.
So now it's time for our save of the match, brought to you by Segra. And Anna, sometimes this is a tough choice, and sometimes you have one save the entire night, so it's the only choice. Dane Jacquemin with tonight's save of the game, presented by Segra.
Jacquemin with the only save of the game for Loudoun United. Every other opportunity that Tampa Bay Rowdies had on frame resulted in goals.
So Tampa Bay, a 4-2 winner on the road tonight. We'll take a break and be back in just a moment to wrap things up from Segra Field. We've reached full time here in Leesburg, Virginia, and Segra Field. A 4-2 win for Tampa Bay Rowdies on the road tonight against Loudoun United. And Anna Whitty, it was a wonderful match tonight, entertaining from start to finish. But in the end, it was Tampa Bay who earns the 3 points. And let's take a look back at how it happened. All the way back in the 10th minute, it was Loudoun United striking first.
Loudoun United started to set this tempo early with their high pressure and getting their midfield involved. The opportunities came from them being unselfish, passing the ball around just outside the 18. Rocha had some really good balls inside the Rowdy wide areas. The outside backs in LaCava and Antley got forward and capitalized on the opportunities that the Rowdies were able to maintain possession inside the 18. Loudoun United did a good job to start to come back, but the mental errors for Loudoun United started to seep in. They weren't able to really shut down what the Tampa Bay Rowdies gave them, and using their high press, that started to work for them. Tampa Bay Rowdies made some key substitutions on this game. As it went on, Jennings with a hat trick, potentially even, rather a brace. He could have had a hat trick in this game, was unselfish in moments for Tampa Bay Rowdies. They just started to weather this storm and allowed Loudoun United to do what they wanted to do. But when they got their chance, they put away the opportunities that they had and created multiple chances in this game. Showed that the Rowdies have the experience that Loudoun United doesn't have. And being patient and calm didn't work out for Loudoun United. A red card for Chica for putting his right cleat straight into Jennings, who was looking to get a breakaway. The small mental errors that Coach Martin talked about started to plague this Loudoun United side, and the Rowdies were able to put it away.
This is the final goal for Tampa of the night. Jennings staring down a hat trick instead. Says, Jake LaCava, you take this one. And Tampa Bay walks out with a 4-2 win. And in the end, most of the stats ended up on the winning side with Tampa Bay.
3 offside for Tampa Bay Rowdies showed that they were really pushing this Loudoun United back line, trying to find balls in behind. 12 shots from the Rowdies. Loudoun United created 8, but 5 shots on target for Rowdies in the second half. They continued to get more of them, and that was what changed this game for the Rowdies. They really bet on themselves as the second half continued to go on, and they were patient and calm to get the result.
Well, that'll wrap things up for us tonight. Our post-game show brought to you by Segra, and so glad you were with us all night long. It was Loudoun United breaking through early, but Tampa Bay Rowdies finishing it off late, a 4-2 winner on the road. For our entire outstanding crew and my partner Anna Whitty, I'm Justin Galanti saying goodnight. One more time, Tampa Bay Rowdies a winner 4-2 against Loudoun United. Have a great night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.